Ladies and gentlemen, my name is the Reckonist. Welcome to Football Manager 2020, and this is the video where I talk about the 5-2-1-2 Gegenpress system, otherwise known as Bad Kompany, which has resulted in some incredible performances, least of all the one you're looking at right now, where you can see it's a Sky Bet Championship, which is Season 2, because Watford got relegated, and I took over them to test this out. And a foregone conclusion was pretty much promotion. It was always going to happen. But as you can see here, we were unbeaten. Now, slightly misleading. This is an incredible team for a championship. We've got a couple of Champions League players here. I signed Mandragora. We got Valverde on loan, Pongracic, and Batshuayi. I can never pronounce it right. But yeah, we absolutely dominated the league, and this is one of the very early tests of this. It was a slightly different version than the tactic we have now, so I knew we were onto something. A little talk about the tactic. I wanted to make a 3 at the back one, just because I like 3 at the back systems. I really do like them. And someone asked a couple of months ago why don't we do what Chris Wilder does at Sheffield United and try and get overlapping centre halves, and I've given it a go by clicking dribble more on, but I didn't see it happen too many times. It did happen, but more importantly, we just had them running forward with the ball a lot more, which actually committed midfielders to close them down, which made space. So I'm quite happy to keep that in there. In fact, that's probably going to be my default thing for any ball-playing defender from now on, asking them to dribble more if they have the capability. So that's one of the PEIs there. So effectively, this system is a standard Gegenpress. In fact, as you can see, there is no custom Gegenpress listed there. It is out-of-the-box Gegenpress, and a mentality of positive or balanced would be what I'd recommend. Obviously, you know, if it's a huge game, you don't want to lose. Cautious is also an option. I've left it on positive. Balanced would be okay for most teams because, as I say, we were hugely powerful for this league, and cautious against the big clubs, which we will have a look at once I go into other saves in a moment. So the crux of this is an incredibly narrow system because of fairly narrow Gegenpress default style. And with it being narrow and we're flooding the opposition half with players, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe even 6 and 7 will be in the opposition half at any point, making it incredibly difficult for anyone to play out of, and as a result, they either lose possession, we close them down, forcing mistakes, or they kick it out, or they kick it long, straight into, oh lovely, 3 giant centre halves. So it was a kind of a catch-22 for them. Obviously, the weak points of this would be the flanks, as usual. There's only one guy there, and as a result, there was lots of times that these wingbacks were caught on the ball or caught in possession, and it goes down as a mistake. To combat that, I have listed take fewer risks, but that is going to happen. If I could suggest you spend all of your transfer money on one player, it'll be your wingbacks, making sure they are tip-top, the best you could possibly get, and everyone else is secondary to that. There's some points I have made. What you'll see is very few goals conceded. Last 50 matches, says here, let's go for the domestic. That includes the Premier League, so we'll leave that. Last 35 matches. Goals, yeah. So this is the goals conceded. Most of them, again, will be the through balls. You need to be aware of that. But because we're on the front foot, because we're in a positive mentality, there was less time the opposition had on the ball. So they had very few opportunities with this particular strong Watford team. But yeah, you can see the contrast in goals scored versus goals conceded. Also, look, opposition mistakes. I talked about forcing those errors. 10 times we scored as a result of an error, and only once did we mess up badly. A lot of goals for free kicks and corners. I'll talk about the set pieces in a moment as well. And yeah, so overall, an incredibly large amount of clear-cut chances compared to clear-cut chances against us. And as a result, an incredible performance from this Watford team. Let's just go a dart around the other saves that I do have for it. Okay, this is the Sheffield United save where I just finished this last night and I was like, yeah, I'm done with this now. Season 1, 2020, finished 6th we finished in Europe with Sheffield United. Sheffield United are made for this, as I mentioned before, with the fullbacks overlapping. Yeah, great performances, but because I had it as I had it as positive, but I played better with balanced and cautious because this team wasn't as strong as the other teams we were playing against. So that would be my advice for a little caveat there. If you're playing an underdog team in the league, stick it as balanced. But yeah, a lot more goals conceded, and look at that. Again, the through ball problem shows itself. There is very little we could do to stop that. I think most of these things came from the wide areas. 21 of them came from really deep. So this is like your fullback. I think this is the fullback hitting it long, or the centre halves being able to pass really well, which is probably the case in the Premier League. So again, you're going to see lots of through balls being conceded. Just deal with it, because you'll probably score more collectively over the course of a season. Again, very weak Sheffield United team comparatively. Expected to finish media prediction 20th. There we go. I didn't even know that. Yeah, I'm taking that as a win. Yeah, so this is incredibly strong. There are some more saves I'd like to show off with it. Okay, this is Lazio, and I holidayed to the 31st of October, and look at that, 10 wins out of 10. Immobile scored 15 goals. Yeah, Lazio also another fantastic team for this. Basically, I picked every team with a strong back three to test it with. But then there was also a test of Arsenal, Season 1. No signings. Win. Yeah, won the Premier League. Quite convincingly as well. We did lose some games, but everyone else did. It's really close in this year's game, usually the first Premier League season. So there's also Arsenal. Okay, a Torino, which was, I think this is one of the first ones I did as well. Torino, of course, a defensive football team as a culture. It says, yeah, we came third. I think we were expected below that, ninth. We expected to be ninth and finish third. Yeah, I'm taking all of these as a sign that this particular tactic is working. As usual, I usually manage half of the season and then go on holiday and see if we come back anywhere close to where I went on holiday. Yeah, it's usually a good sign that it works. And if anyone tuned into the Nottingham Forest streams recently, in fact the last one, was when we switched over to this just to see what happened, and we've already climbed up to 8th in the Season 2. So it's our first season in the Premier League, and we're 8th, and it's like December. It's not even December yet, I don't think. So again, it is performing extremely well. This is by far the strongest one I've released this year, and I'm saying that with the Maldini one. And the Skulls Can't Tackle ones. Both of them are really strong. This is probably the strongest they've got. Other points to make. Mistakes by wingbacks have been addressed. Yes, we've taken fewer risks. I'm just reading my pad here. Set pieces are presets. Yes, set pieces are presets. Let's go back to a more recent save. Okay, so I have all of my set pieces set. So this is defending corners. I have a guy coming short. You'll notice, I did talk about this on the stream as well. This is, I've noticed when this happened, when you do this, you concede a lot less. Usually your defenders, especially if they're three big centre halves, will clear the initial corner in. But it's the second ball that comes out, and if they usually clear it back where it came from, and then if you haven't got somebody closing down this corner taker, he's completely free to put in a quality ball. So pop in one of the strikers there. I usually put the quickest one there because they can get back up the pitch quicker. Has negated a lot of the goals from corners. Attacking-wise, I have my 3 on rotation, which is the Big Sam 3, the near, far, and 6-yard box ones, resulting in a lot of goals as well. I've also done the same for free kicks, left 1 up front, a 4-man wall, and all the defenders and 2 centre midfielders have gone back. That's pretty much standard. Oh yeah, 2-man wall for the further out ones. Again, making sure the right people are in the right places. For deep ones, I've kept 2 strikers up front just to give the AI something to do with, and a lot of counterattacks are started from that. You'll just see like they'll waste the ball in, it gets cleared, somebody passes it through, and there's 2 options there. So that was very good. I also have long throws in as a test, and what you'll notice on the analysis is goals from throw-ins, 0. That's not right. Goals from throw-ins does not. It's only counted if you throw it, your guy heads it, and it goes in. That'll be 1 goal from a throw-in. What happens is when you do a long throw, the defenders will head it, and then you will intercept that header or have a really good chance of intercepting that second ball. So the long throws are still working, I think, to an extent. Not quite as much as the exploited throw-ins were last year, but it's definitely a viable option and one I've chosen to put in there. Obviously, you can change these things if you want to. It's not up to me to tell you what to do. But yeah, those are the set pieces done as well. Oh, I also strongly recommend the mentoring. There is a mentoring video I've done there. I don't think this is how mentoring is supposed to be used. However, it is a very good way of creating these green lines as quickly as possible in your squads when you take over. Usually do about 6, 7, 8 friendlies if you can, especially in the first season, especially if you're flipping into a new tactic as well. Obviously training as well. I've individualed everybody to play as their role, what I'm going to expect them to play in this particular system. I also have Gegenpress training. My own training schedules are available for patrons currently, so a patron only one. And again, yeah, that's probably a good time to end it and say thank you very much to all the support from Patreon. I've literally doubled my Patreon people in December, so I am absolutely over the moon. As I'm recording this, I'm on like 95 patrons. If I can get to 100 patrons before New Year's Day, I will be absolutely over the moon. Thank you very much for all your support, everybody on Patreon, everyone who tested this out for me and got similar results in the Discord as well. If you enjoy this, and if you enjoy myself and my football tactics and my just my general live streams, by all means consider following in the links down below. But I think that covers everything there. I do have some more notes. Oh yeah, no opposition instructions are listed because I do it on a case-by-case basis. I know a lot of people have set rules. I don't do that. So I've left it blank because that's what I usually do. I've not put tackle hard on. Tackle get stuck in. That's it, not tackle hard on. Get stuck in, I've left it blank just in case that we want to do that. A good time to do get stuck in on is if you notice you haven't got any yellow cards at the end of the first half. You're probably not asserting yourself enough, so stick it on. What else have I done? Oh yeah, you'll see wingback to wingback crosses. One of the key indicators that something's not quite, or the match engine's struggling. You'll see crosses from either side. Oh yeah, forgot to mention we have a Libero. And you usually get around 2 to 3 key passes per game from it, which is actually really good. So I strongly suggest keeping the Libero. I've left it as support, but you can stick it to attack if you like, but you might get a little cramped up here. But yeah, very good use of the Libero. I've covered the ball-playing defenders running, packed to the center. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Just accept that your fullbacks will make mistakes unless they are of the highest ability levels. And also, your goals you conceded are most likely going to be through balls, especially with weaker teams. If you are expected to win the game, I say go positive. If you're not sure, go balanced. If you think you're definitely going to lose, go cautious, which is just general blanket advice there. But yeah, again, an excellent tactical profile for set pieces. I've covered that. I think that covers the entire video. I just want to say thank you again, and if you've made it this far, why not leave the name Bad Company in the comments section? Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.